Rev up your engines!
Well, here we go again with our government giving money to corporations. In Michigan, they just gave $236.6 million in tax incentives to an electric battery maker. Now, the battery maker said, oh, we looked in Canada, we looked over, but we settled in Michigan. Yeah, because they got the most money out of them, right? Talk about blackmail. Now, when is it that our government money has to go to these corporations? It's getting to a point of absurdity. Now, the government's also involved in it, right? So you know it's going to be corrupt. I'll give you a perfect example. Back in Clarksville, Tennessee, in the Obama administration, they spent over $1 billion creating this industrial area out in the middle of cow patches, right? They bought the farmers' fields, and they set up all these buildings, put the slabs in, built them. But guess what happened in the interim? The billion something they spent was totally wasted because turns out Chinese had a better bid, so they made it in China instead. And there's these giant empty fields now. They had to tear the buildings down because they were falling apart. Wasted over $1 billion of government money on a field. That was the future. And they were going to give the tax breaks to all these corporations, and they didn't even come. So anything the government has to do with, there's corruption, there's wastage of money, and now they're giving these battery companies all these tax breaks, right? It's absurd. It's patently absurd. Whatever happened to the real capitalist system where the people get money, they invest it, they make a good product, and away they go? No, now they got to get government breaks. So, the corporations, they'll be in your neighborhood, but they won't be paying any taxes. We're all paying taxes out the wazoo, right? But the corporations, they don't have to pay any taxes. They get breaks. They get tax breaks, right? When is this crap going to stop in this country? It's getting to a point of absurdity. And you watch. I can't wait for this one. One, for our next energy. See what happens to 1 year from now. Is it going to be a fiasco like the $1 billion they spent in Clarksville? It's now empty fields. And it was so funny, since they had to tear them all down and now there's cement and empty fields, right? They put all these berms up. So when you drive down the road, you can't see what they screwed up. They put berms so there's hills that you can't see. But if you stop and climb over the hill, you can see it's a vast wasteland of concrete slabs that used to have buildings that they tore down and never were used. Let's see what happens to one in the future of our taxpayer dollars being peed away to corporations. Well, following Tesla, Ford just raised the price of their Lightning F-150 Pro $5,000. So, theoretically, they started $51,942 for this model, right? If you remember, this is the highly Ford-touted F-150 electric truck that they said was going to start at under $40,000. Well, now it starts at $51,940, and we know how that goes. Go into the deal. Well, we only have a few of these. We'll add another 20, 30 grand to that, too, at the dealerships, right? This is the manufacturer's suggested list price that Ford says they're supposed to be started for, and of course they jack it up at the dealers. Dealers are privately owned. They can do whatever they want, really. They're under 40 is now 51,940. Don't believe any of the words these people tell you, just like they say, don't worry, electric vehicles, look, they're so cheap to charge up. Hey, now in California, it costs about the same to fill up one of the Teslas with electricity as it does fill up a car with gasoline. It's equivalent to $6 a gallon gasoline because they just raised their rates at the Tesla supercharging stations. If you think this promised electric future is going to be cheap and everyone's going to be happy, no, it's not going to be that way. And this is as it stands now. You can see as time goes on, it's going to get even worse. They'll charge more and more because they'll say, hey, we got millions of people with these electric cars. We'll charge them whatever we want for electricity and for the cars too. They're sold for this stuff. Let's keep selling it, making a lot of money. Be wary of people selling you new technology that's unproven. One, it's unproven, and two, the costs today aren't going to be the costs tomorrow. They're basing everything on today's cost. And of course, as they say, if there's a limited commodity, right, then they can raise the price. Well, in this country, there's a very limited amount of electricity available. So they can jack it up as much as they want in the future if they want to, because they're big corporations that run the power companies, and they can charge you whatever you want, just like the gasoline. They can charge you whatever they want. You don't refine your own gasoline. You got to buy it from them. So now with their BS excuses in California, guys paying $7 a gallon in San Francisco for gasoline. $7 a gallon. Where in Clarksville, it was $2.89 the same day. The same day. And they say, well, shortages in California, so we can charge more. Yeah. Trust these people, you're just asking for it. They just came out with the F-150 Lightning. They're already jacking the price way up in the air. Asheville says, I'm 20 years old, and I have no idea what car I should keep and what I should get rid of. I've got a 2019 Volkswagen Jetta I've owned a year. It's got 33,000 miles. I have a relative with a 2013 Cadillac CTS with a 3-liter 6-cylinder engine with 33,000 miles. Should I sell the Volkswagen? I can get the Cadillac for $4,000 from the relative. Personally, I wouldn't own either of those cars. But you're talking low mileage here. I can say I'm not a fan of either, but people are crazy enough now. When your Volkswagen's a 2019, go to Carvana, CarMax, and see what they offer you. They offer you a lot of money. Take the money. You got a lot more than $4,000. Take whatever, take the money, and then buy the Cadillac for only $4,000 because it only has 33,000 miles on it, right? It won't fall apart yet. It shouldn't fall apart. And you was a relative. You said all the service records are there. What the heck? You can get the Cadillac for only $4,000. Get out of that Volkswagen and keep the money. That's what I'd do. Now, I wouldn't buy any of those cars, but in that situation, you get that Cadillac with that low mileage for $4,000. Go ahead, because you could get a lot more for your Volkswagen. Get out of that Volkswagen. Get out of it. Shady 500 says, should I buy a Mustang V6? I'm trying to buy a used Mustang V6. I'm not planning to mod it or get a higher version. What do you think? Sure, why not? The V6 engines, they're not enough horsepower. If it's a late enough model, it'll still put out 300 horsepower or so. They're still strong engines. And you're talking about used. People who drive the V8s generally drive them like maniacs. They're young kids. They're speed demons. And they wreck everything. The tranny engine's all worn out. The V6s, guys generally get those and they drive more conservatively. Better to buy a used conservative car than a used hopped up muscle car. And you said you don't want to make it any faster. It's plenty fast enough. Matter of fact, my tax accountant bought one and she loves it. It's a 6-cylinder. What does she care? She always wanted a Mustang and she's real happy with it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a race car, but it's still plenty fast enough with that 6-cylinder engine. Now, on the other hand, if you're looking at any of those 4-cylinder turbo used Mustangs, don't buy one of those. Those are endless nightmares as they age. They're high-tech, GDI, turbochargers. They break when they get older, but the V6s, no, they were good engines. JDM 300 says, many domestic cars are reliable if you properly maintain them. You say Chryslers are terrible, but my parents have a 2015 Dodge Grand Caravan, 230,000 miles, original engine and training, and I've done the maintenance. I think the problem with people is they don't take care of their cars. Toyotas and Hondas can just take more of a beating than domestic cars. Well, yeah, you hit the nail on the head, that. You got a Toyota or Honda, sometimes all you got to do is change the oil and filter and they'll go hundreds of thousands of miles, right? That is true. Cars will fall apart faster if you don't maintain them. But 230,000 miles out of a Grand Caravan, man, they're lucky too, and they probably drive very conservatively because those Caravans, the old joke goes, why does a Dodge Caravan hold 8 people? And the answer is because 7 of them get out and push while 1 can steer the car to the nearest garage to get it fixed. They are notoriously one of the worst vans ever made. They must be conservative drivers because I've never had a customer get 230,000 miles out of a transmission on one of those ever. But if they're conservative, they could. I'm really assuming that's not 230,000 miles to stop and go city driving. I've never even heard of one going that far. But on a highway, yes, they can. And you're right. If you maintain something, it's going to last longer. But I'd rather buy something that if you maintain it, it lasts 500,000 miles versus one that you maintain it and it goes maybe a couple 100,000 max and has a lot of problems in between. I still stand by saying they're not made all that well, but your parents were probably very conservative drivers and you're maintaining it right for them too. Edwin Diaz says, I got a Lexus and it's burning egg smell and smoke's coming from the exhaust. I just bought a 2006. I get a rotten egg smell. Car idles fine, runs fine, but it smells. Help. Rotten egg smell is sulfur. There's only 2 ways you can get sulfur. One is if your battery's going bad, it gets what's called sulfation, and the battery will smell like rotten eggs. Very easy to check. Start the car up, open the hood, put your nose up to the battery. If it smells like rotten eggs, you need a new battery. Also test the alternator. If the alternator overcharges, it'll boil it and it'll smell too. So battery alternator, check that. Now, on the other hand, start it up, go to the back of the car, the other side. Smell the exhaust. If it's coming out of the exhaust, you're getting sulfur gas. Buy your gasoline at a different place. The gasoline you're buying has sulfur in it. That gets burned in the catalytic converter and really stinks. Sometimes it can ruin your catalytic converter. You can get things like Cataclean, not for cleaning your cat, for cleaning your catalytic converter, you pour it in a gas tank, and it will help clean and get rid of the smell. But if that's the case, you pray the catalytic converters aren't bad because that's a Lexus. It's got 2 on that baby, and they cost a fortune. The cleaner a lot of times will work, but do change where you buy your gasoline because if it's high sulfur gasoline, then you're going to smell it because it's going to burn the sulfur that's in the gasoline you're buying, in which case it can destroy the catalytic converters and cost you a fortune. So change the gas, put some cataclean in and pray if the smell's coming out of the back. But if it's the battery, just replace the battery and test the alternator. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.